Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 7. We are gonna discuss and analyze about poem Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe with members me, Ellen, as a moderator and lead this discussion with student number 23, Rafael Dewa with student number 6, Gahtan Mubarak Al-Jaidi with student number 14, Rihanaya Zahra Putri with student number 35, Kurniananda Nirmala with student number 38. Before we started the discussion, Gahtan gonna read the poem. Time is yours, Gahtan.
Okay, thank you, Ellen. Now I will read the poem by Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many years ago in a kingdom by the sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know. By the name of Annabel Lee and his maiden, she lived with no other thought that to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than a love. I and my Annabel Lee with the love that we served of heaven covered her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cold, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her him-born kinsmen came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in sepulture in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, when envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wine came out of the cold by night, chilling and killing by Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many than far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lay down by the side of my darling, my life and my bread, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the surrounding sea. Thank you.
Thank you, Gahtan. And first, I think we're gonna talk about the themes. How about you guys about these themes of this poem?
I think this poem is about love.
Love. Yeah. And the others?
Yeah, I think the of Annabelle poem is about love.
Yeah. So the center of these themes is about love. But I think this is another from this theme is that encourage. I think because this Allan Poe writing this takes up common subject, the deaths of beautiful young women, right? And yeah. And how about Naya and Raphael, do you agree?
Yes, Alin.
Yes, Alin.
No. But let's talk about form. Let's talk about form. Uh, how about you guys? What your about opinion? Okay.
Naya, would you give some information? Ellen, would you mind if I give some information about the poem?
About this poem is I think this poem is as a what, yeah, so it does not fit any the strict definition of that mode. It does feel ballad like up that because it generally unfolds through a pattern that alternate between longer lines and shorter line, which is as a typical feature of ballads. I think this form is about ballads.
Okay, I agree with you.
Annabel Lee tells the story of her death and how that has come the effect the speaker's life. Furthermore, traditional ballads were often about too much love affairs and or murders, exactly what the reader sees in Annabel Lee.
Okay. Anyone would you give more information about the poem?
I think Naya and Raphael agree with that. Same opinion as me.
How do you think, Naya and Raphael? Okay, then I will give some information for you guys. Annabel Lee is a haunting ballad of a poem with a wealth of hyponic rhythm and song like rhyme. It has a fairy tale air and can also resonate with all who have been in love, felt tragedy, and loss. The rhythm and rhyme of this poem is reflect the speaker's obsession with his childhood love. They are often repeat, which helps to reinforce the spiritual connection, whilst echoing the wave and motion of the sea, which is deep and profound. There is an intensity about this poem that builds up the stanzas, progress, then subsides before rebuilding.
All right, thank you, Gatan. I think next we're gonna talking about the rhymes scheme. I think this poem have rhyme scheme A B or D B E B F B. Do you have any another opinion, or you have same as my opinion, guys?
I think I agree with you, Eileen.
I'm agree with Ellen.
How about the others? Naya, do you have personal opinion about the poem? Or maybe Raphael will give some information.
I think this story of Annabel Lee first love. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Then anyone will give more information?
Um, I'll give my opinion about rhyme the poem Annabel Lee. The poem makes use of some internal lines too. Chilling and killing in line 26, killing wine from with the effect it had on Annabel Lee. Lines 34, 36, and 38 rhyme beams or dreams, rise or ice, tide or sight, respectively. That's enough.
Okay, thank you, Lala.
Thank you, Lala. I think next, we're gonna talking about the Annabelle Lee set speaker about. Okay, I'm gonna give. I think the speaker in Annabel Lee is often taken by Edgar Allan Poe himself. There's no definitive evidence in the poem to confirm this. However, his wife Virginia and died not long before its composition, and she was considerably younger than him. So there are parallel, I think, if not certainly. What is beyond doubt is that the speaker is someone who is grieving. His entire being seems to have been defined by his relationship with Annabelle Lee, even though it was many, many years ago. He has an idealistic view of their love and believing that it was more than more, and believe that their soul are eternal link. On the other hand, he is certainly grieving too. The way the poem keeps soul are eternally thus sleep next to her body every night. But of course, it is not clear how reliable the narrator's account actually is. Who was found of using unreliable narrators, and there is definitely a sense that the poem is narrated by someone whose mind is troubled. Accordingly, it's hard to take the poem at a face value. The objective narrative of what happened of Annabelle Lee. It is colored by the speaker intense emotion regarding her life and death. I think this speaker is telling about the intense emotion regarding her life and death. That's all from me.
Good, Ellen. Thank you, Ellen, for the
Thank you,
information.
Ellie.
Ellen, for the information.
There is a complex rhyme scheme which needs to be fully explored. Each stanza is different rhyme with, but there is a continuous thread link all of them. The long vowel of, for example, the word is an understands, as is Annabel Lee. This rhyme turns up 21 times throughout the poem, and is the lynch sometimes repeat.
Okay, thank you, Naya.
Okay. Now,
So you say that this poem have a different rhyme and voice, right? Okay, then next.
next, we're gonna talking about Annabel Lee settings. Okay. What about your opinion, Gatan, about Annabel Lee setting?
About the theme or something else?
About the setting ya, dan kayak it's like setting. Okay, maybe I'm gonna explain about the Annabel Lee setting. I think Annabel Lee has a fantastical fairy tale like setting, like a fairy tale. This story happened many years ago. It's began work with once upon a time in other words. The fairy kingdom and the young maiden under mortal threat are also common in fairy tale stories. But this suggestion of fantasy creates a false sense of security because the poem quickly becomes about the narrator's own thoughts about Annabel Lee and the love he shared with her. Furthermore, there's no net happy ending, but the poem leaves the speaker in his grief with no possibility of escape. And on the voice, then the poem is set in this mysterious coastal kingdom. It's a bleak, unforgiving place where the clouds blow chilly and there's a little other visual detail apart from the moon, the star, and the sea. Here's even the angels are morally compromised, and the stark hopelessness of the setting match the speaker modes. Beginning a bit deeper, thought the poem is also set within the minds of its narrator, which is tormented by both his love for Annabel Lee and agony of her death. The constant return of Annabel Lee's name show that the speaker mind is stuck on its thoughts of her, and through the poem, the reader briefly inhabits this trouble, fracture, cycle. I think that's all for me about this setting of the poem. Do you agree with my opinion about this setting of
Yeah,
this
Eileen,
poem?
I'm agree with you.
Yeah, Lin.
I'm agree, Ellen. You say in the poem is set in this mysterious coastal kingdom. Yes. Non eta.
Okay. Then for the next, anyone will give more information? Naya?
I will give you more information.
Okay.
There are also unlimited and words in each of the stanzas. Thaw, chilled, night, camp, chilling, soul, dreams, ace. Why did Edgar Allan Poe leave these lines floating without a rhyming partner or repeat rhyme? Sorry. Poetically, they perhaps represent the idea of loss, of being alone in all that familiarity. They are outside of the phonic framework. And note that the shorter lines in the poem all and in the vowel rhyme me, si, li, and thank you.
Thank you, Naya.
Do you agree with the Naya's opinion, Rafael?
Yes, I'm agree with Naya.
Naya.
Okay. Okay, guys. Are you still there? Are you still with me? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn.
I think the last of our discussion. What do you think about the purpose of the author message from the poem, from his poem? What do you think, guys?
I think it's tell us a lesson learned that with all who have been in love of or left or felt tragedy and loss. So actually
I
the
think
purpose of this poem is giving us the lesson learned of love and loss. What, Naya?
I think the two live for love for one another as they live. So shall they be next to each other forever?
Okay. Then now what?
Well, do you want to give some opinion about the purpose of author? Or you have same opinion like Naya
Yes,
and Lala and Gahtan?
I'm opinions with that story.
Okay.
I think the
So
story
I
is
have
very memorable. because it tells about love until death together. Okay.
Maybe sedikit a little bit tambahan ya buat tadi yang Rafael bikin. I think Annabel Lee is written 2 years after her death, was full attempt to give word to the love and sorrow that still consume him, and this obsession with that type of Victorian culture, which respond to disease, define realities of the 19th century by blending Christian and classic meaning of that. I think is that the literal context of the poem. Any another opinion? So guys, this is the final hour discussion. So I'm gonna make some conclusion our discussion. So to sum up our discussion, first, stanza. Stanza is this use from the poem is of some lines. There have 6 stanza in the poem with variable length and structure. And second, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme followed by the entire poem is A B A B C B, and the internal rhyme. The internal rhyme is used from this poem is lines such as "For moon never beams without bringing me dreams," and "Toward beams and dream rhyme which each other," and repetition they use is the poetic as well as the rhetorical device of representation, embraces of point through repetition such as of a beautiful Annabel's and in Kingdom by the Sea, which have been repeated in the poem several times. And the last about refrain. Refrain that the words that are repeated at some distance in the poem are called refrain, the paraphrase in a kingdom by the sea, and of the beautiful Annabel Lee are repeated with the same word. This has become refrain as these plays have been repeated in all stanzas the of the poem. And any others? Okay. Who has used very literary device and change to indent impact of his poem? Some major literary device have been analyzed below. Assonance, imagery, personification, alliteration, and then symbolism, allusion, and adjustment. I think we, in the end of our discussion. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And thank you so much for your time. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Elin.
Thank you, Elin. Have a nice
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank